Good morning. It is 6:55 a.m. on Thursday, May 17th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So obviously, well, not obviously necessarily, but from a return to the previous camera perspective, you might conclude that I have solved my computer issues that I was facing yesterday, and that assumption would be more or less accurate. Turns out that restarting my computer another 4 times solved the problem, even though nothing told me I needed to do that. Lots of updates will say, oh, yeah, you need to restart your computer now. And they don't necessarily say, also, you may also need to restart it an additional 3 times with no message prompting you to do so. I just happen to have experience with that phenomenon, and so tried it, and sure enough, that solved the issue, and so I believe this video should work. So, ended up not doing so many levels last night. Not related to the computer issue, but just because of, you know, availability. Everybody's, we didn't have everybody there able to play, and although we could have probably done something other than a regular episode with the people we had there, I kind of made the call in the spur of a moment to just not do a stream at all. And that produced an interesting emotional response that in my own brain that I wasn't fully expecting. What it really did was tap into the part of my brain that like the social anxiety part, because times I really wish some of my little programs would not make noises at me. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right, talking about social anxiety in a public forum when my computer decides that's the right time to make noises at me. Um, I wouldn't say that I have a huge problem with social anxiety. I mean, certainly I'm aware that there are lots of people who, for whom it is a bigger problem than it is for me. But I deal with it sometimes, and the most common manifestation of it for me would be some sort of an event that I'm looking forward to, and then 24 to 48 hours usually ahead of whatever that event is, um, my brain will start giving me excuses like, well, wouldn't it just be easier to just stay home? You wouldn't have to, get all dressed and looking nice. You wouldn't have to go anywhere. You just stay home, and that's easier, right? And my brain tries to do that to me, and it because it doesn't. Frequently it's an event that I know I will have a good time at, and so um, it can't attack me by trying to tell me that it's not going to be fun because I know better. But what it tries to do is appeal to my laziness. And sometimes it works. But generally speaking, when that happens, every time that I make myself go out and do it anyway, I'm glad that I did and I have a good time. And then occasionally, like when I give in and let it work, I usually will, not enjoy staying home either because it will feel a little bit like a defeat. Like I'm aware of this mental pattern in myself, and then I gave into it. And so even though that wasn't the reason that I canceled the stream last night, um, that's what it felt like in my animal brain, and that was a little bit unexpected. I mean, because I suppose I could have done something, and so maybe there's a similarity there in the sense that, we could have figured out something, like I could have improvised a one shot, or, we could have done something instead of just not doing a stream at all. And that's true. And that probably would have been fun, but it's a lot of mental energy to prepare that stuff. And I had some other things to do, and so I decided, given that we can't do a regular episode, I'll just say, you know what, we're taking an off week, because half of our players can't be here. And I think, when I think about it rationally, that's a very reasonable thing to do. Um, and I don't think that there was an anxiety element to that decision, and yet the anxiety kicked in after the fact, trying to make me second guess that decision. Hmm. Anyway, again, again, like I always feel that, like whenever I talk about this stuff, I feel like I need to justify or um, explain to everyone. It's like, you don't need to worry about me. I'm doing all right, and I am. But and in fact, I'm looking forward to, Balticon's coming up and all that. But I think what I'm just sort of processing is that I really like playing Dungeons and Dragons, and so I was disappointed to not play last night. And it's my brain trying to put a face on whatever that was. I guess I don't know. Anyway, I've got to get to work, so I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.